from the middle is Netherlands. They've won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. Look at the teams now. Nepal, Kushal Burtel with 2 changes. Sompal Kami, to be surprised, they've left out Sompal Kami and Dev Kanal. Arif Sheikh and Gulshan Shah are in place of the 2 team members. Asif Sheikh, the keeper batter, Anil Kumar Shah, Arif Sheikh, Kushal Malla, Rohit Kumar Podal, the captain, Bhim Sharkey, Dipen Singh Aire, Gulshan Kumar Jha, Karan Casey and Lalit Raj Bangshi. And I would like to invite Andrew Leonard here in the comment box. Good morning, Lenny.
Very good morning, Paresh. Most importantly, great to have you back and great to see you fully fighting fit. It's been a cold February, isn't it? Much colder than usual. So it's been difficult for everyone to stay fit off the pitch. I'm just about there with you. But great to be here for the very final game of the first series. Just one change for the Netherlands. Cwc Leagur, the left-hander, comes in to open the batting. Most likely could bat number 3 would be the other option. But we suspect he'll probably open up. He comes in for Shrees Ahmed, so they're trying to strengthen their batting, the Dutch. There's the 2 umpires today. Asif Yaqub from Pakistan and we have Vinay Kumar Jha. Our reserve umpire, 3rd umpire today will be Buddy Pradhan, and it will all be overseen by the ICC match referee from Bangladesh, Mr. Niamur Rashid. The VIP sections are starting to fill up and the Dutch are all set to go. What did you think of the toss, Paresh? Very interesting to see that Rob Powell said it could be a good toss to lose.
Well, the last game we saw, the game against Namibia and Netherlands, Netherlands winning the toss and electing to bowl first. Namibia posted 203 runs and they won the game by 23 runs. Netherlands couldn't surpass the target. I think because of that, Rohit Podal said it can be a good toss to lose.
We did have the streak broken in the 5th match a couple of days ago. It was a really entertaining game. I know you were watching on from home, Paresh, as Bertus de Jong joined me. It ebbed, it flowed, it went both ways, and ultimately Namibia actually outclassed the Dutch. They were really impressive. It always impressed me the way they go about their cricket, so well captained and well coached. And you've got to think that they will be the happiest of the 3 sides as we get to the halfway stage of the tour, the end of the ODIs, going to the T20Is after this in a couple of days' time. And for the Dutch, maybe just a few questions to answer. Back at the associate level, were they to lose today, 1 win from 4 wouldn't be a good result coming back to this level. But equally for Nepal, were they to lose, 1 win from 4 on home soil, not up to the standards that the fans now expect.
Yes, they were in a perfect mood last year for the first cycle of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2, 8 wins out of 8 at home soil. And this time around this year, the next cycle, they are 1 win out of 3. So must-win game for both the teams today. In the meanwhile, Asif Sheikh and Kushal Burtel, the dynamic duo, the opening partnership of these 2 batters, a very well-renowned pair, the opening pair. And to start the proceedings for Netherlands, it's going to be Vivian Kingma.
Yeah, I thought he finally got the reward that he deserved a couple of days ago. He's ended up really as the leader of the attack. I know Bas de Leede is certainly capable with his medium pace, but plenty of spin. They've gone very spin heavy, the Dutch, outside of Kingma and Bas de Leede. Keep your eyes on Vikramjit Singh too. He can bowl a little bit of medium pace. There's a slip and there's a gully in place. Kushal Burtel and Asif Sheikh have been 2 of the better batters for Nepal in the series, and you'd expect their contributions will be critical today. Final game of the series, we're all set. It starts with a nice friendly full delivery, which Burtel's just happy to keep out. We've seen 33 ODI matches completed at this venue now. There was a few memes going around social media saying win the toss, win the game at the start of the series. There is a little bit of a disparity. 12 have been won by the side batting first and 21 have been won by the side batting second. That's over 60% of the matches. Namibia showed us 2 days ago there is a way to win losing the toss and batting first. First and foremost, you have to keep wickets in hand.
Yes, that is the most important thing. The team batting first. It's just about the first 45 minutes to 1 hour, the first 10 to 12 overs. If you keep wickets in hand, just stay there, assess the pitch, play to the merit of the ball. Just don't throw your wicket away in the early conditions, and you'll have a platform to get a bigger total.
Who will the Dutch open the bowling with alongside Kinma? Would you feel, Paresh? We saw Aryan Dutt do it the other day, not with great consistency or accuracy. I think his first 2 overs went for 18, including a 5 wides in there. Will they go Roelof van der Merwe because of his experience and the 2 right-handers opening for Nepal?
Yes, I will bet to go with Roelof van der Merwe because the experience that he has and the 2 right-handers at the crease. I'll not be surprised if Scott Edwards gives the second new ball to van der Merwe to bowl the second over.
I think it's a good shout, that. I think that would make a lot of sense. You can immediately see, though, that Bertel and Sheikh, as Powdell indicated to us at the toss, have been sent out very much bearing in mind wicket preservation for now. All 5 sides, would you believe, have been bowled out in this series so far, even when Namibia won the game and even when it was reduced to 45 overs per side. So that shows you how difficult the batting has been. It shows you how much the ball has dominated the bat throughout the series. Some of that has been down to some poor batting, I have to say, alongside excellent bowling in helpful conditions. If Nepal bat these 50 overs today, what sort of a score would you expect them to get?
If they bat the whole 50 overs, the possibility can be around 250. That will be a defendable score because the bowling attack that Nepal has, they can just roll out the opposition under 200. That we saw that the game against Namibia, Nepal posted a mere total of 168. They almost beat Namibia. Namibia won the game in the end by 2 wickets.
It'll be the first runs from the final delivery of the first over. Just a single for Bertel to get off the mark. It's 1 for none.
टेक्वान्डोमा जस्तै रिलायबिलिटी र सही कनेक्सन इन्टरनेटमा हुन जरुरी छ। त्यसैले त मैले डिस्वाम फाइबर नेट जोडेको छु। तपाई पनि आफुलाई विश्वास गर्नुहोस् र डिस्वाम फाइबर नेट नै रोज्नुहोस्। डिस्वाम फाइबर नेट।
Namaskar, Mom, Miss Nepal, र Miss DHI, Sricha Pradhan, wishing you all a happier home.
DHI, happier home. छुट्टै छ है। तपाईको असली एनर्जी, Red Bull, असली नै रोजौं।
The difficult circumstances and the Iceman's ability to bat time, and he comes back into the team today. He played 1 game, well, he played 2 against Canada, but he only batted once. Back into the 11 in place of Dev Kanal, and the other change is that Gulshan Kumar Jha replaces Sampal Kami. You surprised to see Kami left out, given how well he's bowled at points in this series?
Yes, I was very surprised that Sampal Kami was left out. He bowled very well in the series, especially in the first game against Namibia. In his second spell, taking 3 wickets in 3, giving away only 3 runs. A bit of a surprise, but the team management have some discussions made due to the balance of the team.
You called it spot on the money, Paresh, to start with. It will be Roelof van der Merwe, the Bulldog himself. Much nearer to 40 than he is 30, but you'd never know it. His appetite for the game continues to be strong. That's come off the gloves, so the stifled appeal from van der Merwe obviously can't be given out. And Vinay Kumar Jha says, Roelof, come on. You know the laws of the game. Glove or bat, you can't be out.
South Africa, who appeals for everything. You rightly said, the Bulldog, Roelof van der Merwe, very experienced campaigner for Netherlands. He has also represented South Africa's national team in the past. A fighter, 39 years of age.
He's got a remarkable record around the world. He's played in plenty of franchise competitions, including the IPL, the Big Bash down in Australia. He was one of the bowlers of the tournament last year in the inaugural SA20. And hit straight to the man at extra. He's bowled a bit slower through the air. Do you think he's actually been looking at the local spinners, the likes of Rajbanshi, Mala, and identify that is the better pace to bowl on these pitches?
He always identifies the conditions of the wicket, and he bowls again slower through the air, ball arcing into the right-hander. He always identifies the wicket, how he should bowl to a particular wicket. In Nepali wickets, in TU wickets, you can bowl a bit slower through the air. Very good ball. The ball drifting in. There's a signal by the umpire that was involved.
Scotty Edwards is questioning that. I'm not sure whether there was. For me, that's hit the front pad first. It's then gone on to the back elbow. He's a long way forward, so I actually don't mind the decision. I think it's probably a good decision to give it not out, but there was not bad involved. Sheikh under pressure, being challenged with the one that skids on with that new ball. Not challenging the outside edge, but the inner. Lucky to survive. This time he gets it full enough to get off the mark, just tickled into the leg side. So 2 singles come from Van der Merwe's first over. It's 3 for none. It is a work day here in the Kathmandu Valley, but Nepal's ardent fans are so aware of the importance of today's contest. Yes, there's a long way to go in Cricket World Cup League 2. The last thing you want to do is win just 1 from 4 on home soil in conditions that should be helping you. Namibia, they were delighted with their 3 wins from 4. Whoever loses today will only have 1 from 4. Good leave. Strong leave from Asif Sheikh. 3 for the other day against Namibia. The first one was a juggling one, then a good caught and bowled of Michael van Linken, then running through number 11. Great to watch, Vivian Kingman.
Yes, he's a treat to watch. A good medium pacer, a natural outswinger. He bowls at a perfect line and length. Forward defensive by Asif Sheikh. Again, you can see his bowling back of the length. He doesn't have that express pace, but the line and length is pretty much good.
Yeah, one of the big things the Dutch boys that I spoke to after the game on Friday were talking about was they felt as though their bowlers went searching in helpful conditions. Something Van der Merwe was saying he so admired and respected about Bernard Scholz's spell. He was patient. Didn't actually take a wicket in his first 7 overs. And they held 2 up the sleeve and he got 2, including Van der Merwe LBW. It's almost a game of patience from both sides today. The Dutch being patient to try and outlast what can be aggression at the start from Nepal. If you look at the series so far, those with the highest strike rates batting, 2 of them are at the crease. Kushal Bertel striking 160, Anil Shah 147, Asif Sheikh at 96. Today they've clearly been sent out with a different intent, told to take their time, told to keep 10 wickets in hand as long as is possible. See off that movement that King Maget squared up Sheikh this time.
Yes, that was pitched around leg stump ball, swinging away from the right-hander Asif Sheikh. Squared Asif Sheikh, getting the leading edge of the ball, rolling towards the ground. Yeah, this is a good start by Netherlands bowlers Vivian Kingman and Roelof van der Merwe. Taking the second new ball as expected. Squared Asif Sheikh. Bit of a misfield there at short extra time. February, it was so warm like spring. It was a bit warmer series, but the rain came down. It was a very gloomy day, the game against Nepal and Namibia.
Clipped around the corner, gets it fine and gets 4. Kingma won't be happy with that line again. And Asif Sheikh gets some reward for his patient start.
Yeah, going for that glory delivery bowling, trying to bowl that in swinger, getting the line wrong. Asif Sheikh, absolutely perfect played it very fine towards fine leg for the boundary. And this is what Asif Sheikh can do when you are under pressure, batting first. He takes his time. He doesn't go after the bowling, just waits for the ball to come to him, play to the merit of the ball.
Again down the leg side, Kingma. Well, look, he cuts almost a disconsolate figure. The third apology from 3 consecutive deliveries. He knows he's not completing his action. Thinks a lot technically about his game. The wrist just getting behind the left of the ball. As a consequence, another freebie down the leg side.
He just wants to mix the in-swing, the natural outswing that he has. That is why the wrist just falls down. The wrist position just falls down and the ball ends up on the leg side of the right-hander. He has to do what is best, bowl an outswinger.
And bring that slip into play. The slip is there for a reason. Vikram Singh. Much better. Even though a little bit wider outside the off stump, it's a dot ball to close out the third. Nepal 9 for none.
Van der Merwe would continue. Swept away, very fine. Ball rolling towards the boundary, very good effort in the deep. Surely saved 2 runs for his team. That was excellently played by Burtel. Swept it behind square. Michael Levitt dived to his right, stopping the ball to get to the boundary. Surely saved 2 runs for his team.
You know, I think we're going to see a couple of contrasting approaches here against Van der Merwe. Burtel loves to sweep. You're right, Levitt does well, doesn't he? Because it's quite a hard outfield with, apart from that 1 day's heavy rain, we haven't had much. So it's a bit bobbly, the outfield, and he definitely saves runs. Some of the gathered VIPs we see. Roshan Kumar Singh, the Vice President of the Cricket Association of Nepal, and just in the shadow there, so the President himself, Chatur Bahadur. Paresh, good start for Nepal this, but it doesn't matter if they lose early wickets. If they, let's say, get to 50 for 2 after 10, they'd almost rather 30 for none.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. They can be 30 for none after 10 rather than being 50 for 2, because 2 wickets are very important. Getting that inside edge. No says Kusal Burtel. It's a decent start for Nepal. 12 for no loss in the 4th over.
And certainly Sheikh looks a little less comfortable against Van der Merwe than Burtel does. So this might be the matchup that the Dutch have identified early. Does well this time, shorter in length. Should see a really good crowd, a good atmosphere. For Nepal to be happy with this series, they have to win today, Paresh.
Yeah, they'll surely have to win just to stay 50-50, like I said. 2 wins out of 4. Next side. Very optimistic appeal. We always see that by Van der Merwe appealing for every delivery that hits a pad. Nepal 13 for no loss. In this series, moves to 12 or 14. Nepal 19 for no loss in the 5th.
Yeah, certainly it's a pleasing start. It's only less than 20 minutes into the beginning of play, but I think Nepal will be happy with this. The slip now comes out. That's a much better length and indeed line. But I like the way that Burtel and Sheikh have mixed aggression with real caution.
Yes, Burtel, a bit of an aggressor himself, and Asif Sheikh, a cautious batter, a cautious starter. Whenever the ball is loose, they'll go for it. Whenever the ball is bowled well in the right areas, you'll just defend it. It's a good pair to have in your team. One aggressive batsman and the other one cautious.
Talk about having the building blocks to succeed in the international game. Obviously right now both Nepal and the Netherlands don't play any first class or red ball multi-day cricket at the moment, for now. There's been a few whispers of maybe an ICC Intercontinental Cup in some format coming back, maybe even with a couple of lower ranked test stations. The likes of Ireland and Zimbabwe don't get to play a lot of test cricket. So this is the longest version of the game as of right now the Leading Associates play. So the building blocks of your technique, your basics, allow you to succeed in this version when the conditions are difficult. Of course, we all love watching Kushal Burtel and Kushal Mala smash big sixes in the T20 game. You talk about the importance of your technique and trusting that technique. Both of the Sheikh brothers, really. You look at those two, maybe alongside Rohit Paudel, as having some of the best techniques in this Nepal batting lineup.
Yes, the last time Nepal played red ball cricket was in the year 2006. It is a long, long way back.
Oh, I suspect you're going to tell me something here, Paresh. I can almost envisage it. A certain P. Lahani walking to the middle. Oh, bold. Beats beats the outside edge. Were you part of that team in 06?
Yes, I was. That is why I brought it out.
Who was that against? That wasn't Intercontinental Cup, was it? No.
Yeah, some of the games were in the Continental Cup, but it was called the ACC Premier League. Five top associate teams in Asia played a 3-day game against each other in a calendar year.
Yeah, the Intercontinental Cup first started in 2004 and finished up in 2017. Well, bold. Nepal did appear in 3 editions of it, but the last 4 they did not compete. We'll come back to that. 5 have been bold. It's 19 for none. Taking a trip down memory lane with Paresh Lahani here, talking about Nepal's appearances in the ICC Intercontinental Cup, the now discontinued competition. Just the 2 appearances back in 2004 and 2005. There was also a challenge match in 06 that they needed to win to get through to the Intercontinental Cup, but that was drawn, and as a consequence Nepal didn't get into that edition. Something that I think many would love to see come back. Change in bowling. Going to see Vikram Singh with his medium pacers into the attack. A lot of movement. Bertel has a slash at it. Too much movement wide outside the off stump. Good sign this for Nepal. Van der Merwe taken out of the attack after just 2 overs.
Yeah, good sign for Nepal, and Kushal Bertel again trying to slash that outside the off stump. Almost getting that edge down to the keeper. But lucky for Bertel, it didn't get the edge wide given. Whenever Bertel sees the ball outside the off stump, he just goes for the slash. He has to be patient, be cautious.
He's a bit more than a part-time bowler, Vikram Singh. He certainly is a huge young talent. He's someone who came through the mentorship of the former Dutch captain Peter Barron at the VRA club, one of the main grounds there. And it's actually in Amstelveen, which is just outside Amsterdam. Beautiful venue. We saw the Netherlands play England in the World Cup Super League there with, well, the best part of 10,000 mainly Barmy Army fans coming across and creating a brilliant atmosphere and some very high-scoring contests. He's got 7 ODI wickets to his name, but his economy rate is more than a run a ball, so he will give you the occasional loose delivery. You're surprised to see just 1 frontline seamer in the Dutch team, in the shape of Vivian Kingma. I know they've got Deleda and Vikram Singh.
Yeah, whenever you have good all-rounders in your team, you don't need frontline seamers. You have Vivian Kingma, who's taken 3 wickets in the last game against Namibia. Klein left out today. And Vikramjit Singh is not bad with the pace. He's much quicker than Vivian Kingma. It's just about bowling a good stump-to-stump line and length.
Full, driven down the ground. He holds the pose, and Aryan Dutt dives over the top of it. Well, that's a nice shot, isn't it? It's Asif Sheikh, the aggressor this morning, overpitched and punished, put away.
Elegance written all over it. And look at the pose held by Asif Sheikh. Bowler's back drive, showing the bat manufacturer to the bowler. A valiant effort had been on, but could stop the ball. Elegant by Asif Sheikh. Package length, good comeback delivery by Vikramjit Singh. Yeah, he has that pace, a yard or 2 pace ahead of Vivian Kingma. It's just about bowling the right areas.
Both still medium pace though. There's nothing to fear there, is there, for either Asif Sheikh or Kushal Bertel. You think about the pedigree and the quality of Dutch fast bowlers all through the years. There used to have plenty go across to county cricket in the 1980s, the 1990s. Andre van Troost was talked about as maybe one of the fastest of all time in Somerset. You think about the modern pace battery they have, the likes of Fred Klassen, Tim van der Hoogten, Shane Snater, Brandon Glover, Logan van Beek. None of them are here right now. We'll see for the T20s the return of Fred Klassen, the tall left armour, and Tim van der Hoogten come back in too. Just surprises me. I adore Vivian Kingma, he's a great bowler. It surprises me that a Dutch side is only putting out 1 full-time seamer and then the 2 part-timers in Deleda, all-rounders in Deleda and Singh. 6 have been bowled, 25. A really pleasing start. I suspect Monty Desai, watching his 2 openers from the sideline, will be very, very happy because they haven't really taken a risk yet, have they? Put away a couple of bad balls and they've defended and batted with real caution.
Yes, they don't have to take any risk because runs are flowing. Asif Sheikh in a good nick. He scored back-to-back 50s in the last 2 games. Kushal Bertel had a very good start against Netherlands, scoring 28 of 11. Just about staying there in the wicket, just seeing off the new ball. Just to remind you that 2 new balls are being taken in every one-day international these days.
I think that's a good point. We often think of ODI cricket, we think of that first power play. Certainly historically, a decade ago, when it was just 1 new ball, that was the time to bat. Smash it around as much as you can in the first 10. We'd see 70, 80 runs sometimes in flat conditions in those first 10. With the 2 new balls, post the 2015 World Cup, and that's come in with the change in playing conditions, it's kind of balanced the field a bit. It's meant that there's a real place for an opener like a Karunaratne of Sri Lanka, who had such a good qualifier. Like someone like Paul Sterling of Ireland, his game has evolved and changed significantly with the 2 new balls in play. The dashers, the likes of Jason Roy and Alex Hales, have struggled a bit with those 2 new balls not quite being the same. Obviously, if you get very flat surfaces, it's a bit different. But there's now a place for an opener to be 25 off 40 and then turn that into 120 off 100 balls. Because they're able to catch up through those middle overs with the power that they have, and then only 4 fielders out during the second power play. This is the template. You almost have to piece together your innings. It's a little bit more old-fashioned, particularly when the conditions are favouring the bowler like they have done throughout this series.
Yeah, when in 90s when only 1 new ball was taken in the 50 overs, the likes of Jayasuriya and Kalabutara, they did bulk of the scoring at top of the order in the first 15 overs. And even now, the hitman from India, Rohit Sharma, he utilises the 2 new balls in effect in the first power play of the 10 overs. That is why he's called the hitman.
Very nice drive, but Vivian Kingma does his best Cruyff or Van Persie impersonation and side foots it. Probably saved 3 runs. It goes wide of the mid-off fielder.
Yeah, he puts his foot out in the play. That's Jack Kingma, the father of Vivian Kingma, a proud father watching his son in action.
Yeah, Jack Kingma was pleased with his son's effort the other day, but not the team's defeat. There he is, Robin Van Persie, just opening the boot. Three singles from the over, 7 have been bowled. It's intriguing stuff thus far this morning. 28 for none. Crowds really starting to flood in. They've heard the news that Nepal have been inserted to bat. They've heard the news that they've got off to a good start too. They'll be dreaming of a second win. Take you back to the previous edition of Cricket World Cup League 2. Obviously the much storied run of Nepal's 11 wins from 12 to firstly preserve their ODI status but also take the 3rd and final automatic qualification spot down for Zimbabwe was, well, it was just a miraculous, spectacular, so special run that caught the attention of the wider cricketing world. But if we look at the competition as a whole, I know there were 7 teams rather than 8, that's the big difference into this 2nd edition. It's clipped around the corner. Beats the man in the circle and beats the man in the deep too. The wrong line from Bikram Singh, and Bertel gets a boundary to get to double figures.
This is what we were talking about. Vikramjit Singh, just a part-time bowler and all-rounder. He has to be very precise with his line and length. Bowling to the pads of Kushal Bertel, getting the placement right. The fine fielder was inside the 30-yard circle. There was a deep square leg in front of square. That is why he got the gap to perfection, getting a boundary.
Now with the knocker and Bertel, he cashes in. This is gentle medium pace and Bertel says he's seen enough. Takes the aerial route, back-to-back boundaries, Nepal getting on top.
Yeah, the dresser starting to unfold here. Back-to-back boundaries for Kushal Bertel. Half volley outside the off stump, played it on the up. Over the cover point fielder for the boundary. Now Vikramjit Singh under immense pressure. Back-to-back boundaries of his 2nd and the 3rd ball of this over.
Driven with real precision. That may be the shot of the morning. 3 consecutive 4s. Bang, bang, bang goes Kushal Bertel.
Yeah, this is the best of the lot. Look at that shot. Beautifully done by Kushal Bertel. Right on top of the ball. Getting that gap to perfection again. All along the ground, down to covers for a boundary. This was a delight to the eyes.
Now a full toss. Bertel can't pierce the 30-yard circle this time. I was going to ask you about that last cycle, Paresh. Talk about Scotland winning that league as we look at that glorious cover drive from Bertel. They lost 10 games with 2 non-results. On top of the table still. If we take out Papua New Guinea, I don't think anyone in this cycle will lose 30 of their 36. I think it'll be more competitive. And poor old PNG, they only got to host 1 series because of the COVID pandemic and how badly that ravaged things. If you can win more games than you lose, I think you'll finish in the top 4. And that is what makes today so important as they get through for a single to round out what is a brilliant over for Nepal. 13 have come from it. It's 41 for none.
This was a very good stop behind point, driving to his right. Surely stopped 2 runs for his team.
Put down, not easy, but a definite chance to Kingma's left. Then he knows it too. You sense the Dutch need something to change the momentum. It's to his weaker side, it's not easy, but it goes to ground.
Yeah, that was middle of the bat. It went very quick to the bowler. He got a hand to it, but got the wrist in place of palms. It can be a costly drop for the Netherlands. Vivian Kingma dropping Kushal Burtel on 21.
There's no need for Bertel to go after every ball. They're on top right now, Nepal. That's better. Take your time. Nobody's batted 50 overs yet. If Nepal do that, I think whatever total they get, I think it will be a winning one.
Yes, definitely it will be a winning one. Again, look at the drop. Yes, he's got the wrist in place of palm. A diving effort by Vivian Kingma off his own bowling. Kushal Burtel getting a lucky escape. No, it's not necessary for Burtel to go after the bowling every ball. He's got 3 boundaries, consecutive ones against Vikramjit Singh in the last over. No, just calm yourself, play yourself down.
Chipped in the air, and just like that, there is the first wicket. It's the tamest of dismissals. It's a simple catch for Baz Daleda. It's come from nowhere, really. And Asif Sheikh will be devastatingly disappointed with that one because, well, it's very limp, it's very soft, and it's an easy catch.
Yes, again, soft dismissal for Asif Sheikh. I think the ball held a little back to the batsman. Baz Daleda, the catcher in that occasion. Asif Sheikh playing a handy knock of 17, has to depart. Nepal 42 for 1. He has a 50 under his belt and beaten 50 against the same team, Netherlands. In the first game, they played each other. Now, the first wicket, the opening partnership was broken by Vivian Kingma on the 9th over. So now it's going to be these 2 batters to held the innings to build up another partnership for the next 10 overs.
Again, I think they're just going to reflect upon this dismissal and say there's no need, hit it along the ground. A couple of Dutch fans in today, they like that. For Sa, we've seen his aggression, we've seen his high strike rates in this sort of 3rd chance really in the international game for him. It's not what's needed, it needs to bat some time alongside Kushal Burtel.
Yeah, the last shot that Asif Sheikh played, it was not necessary to hit it up in the air. He could have just played all along the ground. It's much easier for us to stay up here and say that. It's a completely different story down there. Anil Shah scored a blistering 50 against Netherlands in the first game. Trying to leave that.
He has to be careful, has to sort of check that natural aggression. We saw 5, if not 6 of the dismissals against Namibia 4 days ago for Nepal, really being the batter's faults. Kushal Malla, Rohit Paudel, Dipender Singh Airi, Sampal Kami will all reflect upon poor decisions in terms of their shot selection. And then Anil Shah's dismissal was very, very limp. It just chipped it up, didn't he, to cover. They want to make amends for that today and not do what Asif Sheikh did just a few deliveries ago. It's a really good over from Vivian Kingma. Great credit to the Dutchman. He's fought hard throughout the series. It's 42 today. He ties Peter Boren's record for captaining the Netherlands in the most ODIs. Goes level with the VRA player, Peter Barron, 31 ODIs as captain. Scott Edwards has done those 31 ODIs as the captain in just 20 months, less than 2 years. As Bertel sweeps in front to square. Be a good challenge for Levitt out in the deep. He does very well. He's generally captained very nicely as well. He's sort of grown into the role, but it's his batting that has impressed the most. 15 50 plus scores in just 47 innings. Good numbers.
Yes, those are very good numbers by Scott Edwards. Again, the boundary rider, Levitt, doing a good job for his team. Kushal Purtel sweeping that ball from outside the off stump, covering the whole 3 stumps, getting his pads outside the off stump.
And immediately, as soon as the breakthrough's made, they go back to Van der Merwe for his 3rd over. You get a feeling that the 20 overs of primary spin, I know there's other spin options like some leg breaks. We saw Sybrand Engelbrecht bowl some part-time off breaks the other day too. Swept in the air, and it's not going to carry. Well, almost no control there from Anil Shah. A very fortunate way to get off the mark.
Yes, that was very fortunate by Anil Shah getting the top edge. He slipped while going down on his knees, getting that top edge, almost carrying to the boundary rider, Michael Levitt. 1 bounce. Punch off the back foot by Kushal Purtel. This is a proving over from Roelof van der Merwe, an experienced guy. The bulldog, as you call.
Doesn't look to be in full fitness. He's had some horror back injuries through the years. He always manages to play through them somehow. They'll have to drag him off the pitch before they get the ball out of his hand. I reckon he'll get his 10 overs come hell or high water. Will Roelof van der Merwe. Maybe Nepal just slightly ahead at the end of the first power play, but the Dutch have a first breakthrough. It's 44 for 1. Kingma will continue into a 6th over. I had great pleasure of Bertus de Jong filling in for you the other day. Absolute sage of Dutch cricket in particular, but the associate game in general. I was asking him, is Kingma someone who you could bowl 6, 7, 8 with the new ball? Because he doesn't really seem to come back as well. He has been working on his death bowling, but the value you get from picking Vivian Kingma is with the new ball. What would you do here, Paresh? 6, 7, even maybe 8 overs on the bounce room?
If he can bowl, I'll bowl him probably 6 or 7 on the bounce, because he's done a good job. He's already taken a wicket already, getting rid of Asif Sheikh. And the game against Namibia, his economy rate is just 2.92.
Yeah, 3 for 19 that day. Excellent figures. I think he was used for 6 in the first spell, and then he came back to bowl Jack Brassel to bowl out Namibia inside what was a 45 overs per side contest because of that really heavy thunderstorm he had the night before. Delayed start by about an hour. I wonder will they try to look at him going for 7. Max O'Dowd is over giving him some advice. He thinks that gully is probably the place he might get one, but in fact the gully's now going to come out to a catching cover. He thinks that Shah's pushing hard at the ball.
Yes, he tends to do that early in his innings, Anil Shah. That is what we saw the other day playing against Namibia. Oh, getting that inside edge, almost getting the stumps.
I have to say right now, Anil Shah is all at sea against both Kingma and Van der Merwe. His rhythm, his footwork looks out of time, out of kilter. This easily could have been the 2nd wicket. Front foot presses, but the other foot, the back foot, goes nowhere. It's not express pace, Kingma. He's not beating for pace there. He's just looking a little bit out of touch.
Yeah, out of touch, out of sorts, and a bit lethargic at the crease. He doesn't have that feet moving along. Yeah, looks to be a bit nervous after getting a duck in the last game against Namibia.
And then, from nowhere, he finds some rhythm, and he just plonks one into the crowd. Where's that come from? A big smile on his face. He says, well, I'm not going to get out blocking the ball. I'm going to have a crack. The 50's up.
I think that is a statement for us, Lenny, from Anil Shah, that saying that I'm not nervous at all. That came out of thin air. Played it on the up, over the mid-on fielder's head for a 6. Into the grass banks.
Funny old game, isn't it? He looked totally at sea in his 8 deliveries to that point. He's just launched one over the head of Van der Merwe at mid-on and all the way into the crowd. I do still think, though, that there isn't necessarily the need for big shots yet. 220, 200 plus alone, just bat those 50 overs. I'll call it now, I think Nepal will win whatever they get. But batting those 50 overs has proved very difficult. All 5 sides who batted first in this series are yet to do it.
Yes, Evan, the last game when Namibia played against Netherlands the day before. It was a shortened game, 45-over game. Namibia posted 203 runs. Bold! Got the inside edge and the leg stump approved it.
And a little bit of a send-off from Kingma. He didn't like being hit for 6. You felt it was coming despite the maximum. Sah's feet didn't get going, and Kingma it is again the Dutch are having to rely upon. And over comes umpire Yacoub to say, come on Vivian, no need for that. It was just a bit of frustration following the maximum. Plays away from his body again. This time he chops on. You sensed it was coming, Paresh, you really did. And great credit to Vivian Kingma. He's deserved that. He sees the back of Anil Sah. He'll have a long time to think back in the dressing room. He's gone for 7. It's 50 for 2.
There was no foot movement whatsoever by Anil Sah playing away from the body. It was a good length ball. He should have just come to the front foot, defended it. He already got a 6 in that over, but it wasn't to be. He was completely bowled by Vivian Kingma and had a word to Anil Sah.
Yeah, I can understand that. Kingma frustrated at being pumped over mid-on all the way for 6. He strikes back. And that for me is a nothing shot. It's neither here nor there. It's neither a defensive stroke getting into line and working it down to third. It's neither a drive off the back foot. It's just really dangling the bat there, asking for trouble. Kushal Mala's up at number 4, I think predominantly because of the Van der Merwe factor, sending the left-hander in. That's very nicely played. It'll only be a single. We'll bring Mala on to strike. We do see Aryan Dutt warming up quite significantly at mid-off at the moment as well. Would you not be tempted to give Kingma one more, give him a 7th?
Yes, I would really love to give Kingma one more over to the new batsman, Kushal Malla. He's bowled it so well, has already taken 2 wickets for his team. Vivian Kingma, he's on fire at the moment. Now there's a change in the field when the left-hander is on strike. There's a deep mid-wicket and a long on. A deep backward square as well. 5 fielders on the leg side and 4 on the off.
It's a very defensive field to start with for a new man. It indicates the Dutch know all about the power hitting that Mala possesses. 2 6s, didn't he, early in the piece against Namibia 4 days ago, both off Bernard Schultz, that kind of came from nowhere. But apart from those 2 maximums, he was quite cautious and measured and starting to bat with real maturity. It's one of those part-time spin options. If Nepal can keep Van der Merwe to, let's say, 1 wicket or no wickets in his 10, Aryan Dutt, even though he's a wicket-taking threat, tends to bowl enough bad balls to give you run-scoring opportunities. If they do that, will it be enough to surely bat those 50 overs for the first time for any team in the series?
Actually, it doesn't matter if you don't give wicket to Van der Merwe. Whenever Kingma is taking wickets, he's bowled his heart out today. Vivian Kingma, Van der Merwe, the tiger for the Netherlands, the Dutch. Again, good batting by Kushal Malla. Whenever he comes into bat, we always say that Monty Desai tells him to just play the first 10 deliveries after 12.
And Arif Sheikh is into the team in place of Dev Canal. Probably the confusion for me in the series has been, or the surprising thing with Nepal's batting lineup has been Rohit Paudal's place in the order. He's been almost ever present at number 4 since he's taken the reins as captain. He did bat at number 4 in the first game when there was no Dev Canal. In the second game, when Nepal trounced the Netherlands with 35 overs to spare, he wasn't needed. Dutt comes in to the attack for the first time. These will be 10 critical overs. But then he dropped down to number 6 in the defeat to Namibia. He looked a bit uncomfortable in a new role, a new position. And he had a 9-ball duck, including a shot that he described as very disappointing, particularly himself in the post-match presentation. Do you see him in next at number 5, or will he go at 6 again? And why isn't he batting at number 4?
Well, it's all goes to the team management, the support staff. I think this is a good move, bringing in Kushal Malla, because Van der Merwe, the left-arm orthodox, is operating. And I think Beam Sharkey might be the next batter in. He has played a decent role in this series so far. Well, the batting lineup is very flexible for Nepal. And you can see another Iceman, Arif Sheikh, getting a chance today.
I may be Kushal Mala's biggest fan. I think the world of him. I think the potential that he has in the game is extraordinary. The only reason I don't necessarily agree with him at number 4 in this instance. I know what you're saying about Roloff van der Merwe trying to counteract that threat. He's already bowled 4 or 5. Arjan Dutt is the man who can rattle through teams, as we've seen earlier in the series. He took 6 against Namibia, and 5 of those 6 wickets were left-handers. He loves bowling to left-handed batters, so this is not a good matchup for Nepal. And it's a matchup they've designed by promoting Mala up the order. I would have stuck with Powdell at 4, even though it would have kept 2 right-handers. Powdell is perfectly capable of dealing with Roloff van der Merwe, and as a consequence, Dutt is going to be very difficult to score off if Mala can survive him.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Lenny. He has to survive Kushal Malla. Pick up and yes, given. That was right in front. Another left-hander for Arjan Dutt.
Just as I spoke about, you could sense it was coming. That is not a good matchup. Mala held back to 6 or 7 when Dutt's already bowled 5 or 6 of the overs, absolutely. Height is the big question there for me. It has bounced, he's a tall man, Arjan Dutt. But umpire Asif from Pakistan says, well, it's certainly straight enough, there's no doubt about that. Height the only question. Mala falls for 2. Maybe we'll see Powdell now. Nepal have got themselves into trouble. They're 54 for 3. Again, not the first little mini collapse that Nepal have had in the series. They were in complete control. They looked so confident and calm out there at 42 for none. Max O'Dowd changing bowling. Come on with his part-time leg breaks. Rohit Powdell will now come in at number 5. And he's there because of this LBW that certainly looked marginal in height.
Yes, he was on the back foot, hit the back leg. Max O'Dowd, the part-time leg spinner, into the attack because Kushal Bhurtel has been there for a long time and he hasn't faced too much of deliveries.
Just hasn't been able to get strike the last few overs, and just as I was talking about that negative matchup for Nepal, Arjan Dutt finds the wicket, finds the breakthrough. You could sense it was coming. Mala didn't look comfortable against the off-spinner and then get very deep in his crease and got trapped LBW. Means that Bhurtel won't want to attack O'Dowd yet. The last thing Nepal can do is afford to lose a 4th wicket. And the very part-time leg spinner, he's only got 1 ODI wicket to his name, and if I remember correctly, I think that was back when he used to bowl some off-spin. He's been allowed to settle into his work immediately. 5 dots, pressure building. Nepal have got themselves in a real muddle, a real mess, a real tangle here.
And talking about Kushal Bhurtel, he shouldn't give up, he should stay there. It doesn't matter if you play too many dot deliveries. Nicely cut away behind square on the offside, resulting a boundary. After 14 overs, Nepal 58 for 3. It's going to be Arjan Dutt to continue, a wicket maiden in his first over, getting rid of Kushal Malla. Rohit Powdell, it's going to be the first time he's going to face a ball in this innings.
Big innings for the captain, really is. He's a class act. Got a very good ODI record. This was the last ball, previous over, cut away right on top of the bounce from Kushal Bhurtel, and nicely placed too. Nice way for Powdell to get off the mark. He'll just breathe a sigh of relief after that duck through the day. He's only batted twice in the series. 1 and none, which is significantly less than you'd expect from the skipper. Did have an excellent ODI series against Canada where he was player of the series, wickets and runs, including an 87 in the second ODI. This partnership feels like an important one, Paresh.
Yes, it is a very important one for Nepal. Rohit Powdell, he wants to become amongst the runs. Just that Kushal Malla was brought in early. Wide down the leg side.
There is turn, and maybe arguably more importantly for Arjan Dutt, there's bounce on offer. Look at this. This is coming up towards nearly the pocket hip level of Bhurtel. These 10 overs, Dutt just limping a touch there. Since they'll go a long way to dictate the fate of this contest. Not quite sure where it's gone wrong here for Nepal because they looked in such control. 42 for none, with not a single problem. Almost really through their own fault rather than exceptional bowling. They've got themselves into a difficult position now.
Yes, they have, after getting a good start, 42 for no loss, the opening partnership. Will there be something back of the mind of Arjan Dutt? He was taken to cleaners by Kushal Bhurtel in the first encounter between these two teams.
Yeah, well, I think that's why he's bowling defensively. He was 3 overs, none for 44, wasn't it? So he's coming around the wicket and just happy to bowl some dots and try to almost create a brain implosion from Bertel, create one he hits up in the air or takes on the man out at long on. And then to Powdle, he'll bowl over the wicket and he's actually going to stay around, but he will be more attacking, slip into place. Won't fear Nepal's captain as much. No run there as Engelbrecht, one of the best Dutch fielders, does the work at mid-wicket. 15 bowled, 61 for 3. Single hit down to Van der Merwe. He's out at long off. If we follow Van der Merwe back, hopefully what you'll see on the boundary in a moment, we see in the darker blue tops there, on the right that's Tim van der Hugten, and on the left there's Fred Klassen. He's had a real challenging 6 to 9 months with injury. Great to see the big Kent Seymour back. Van der Hugten, who plays at Glamorgan. That one is stylishly driven. Well, it was a bit of a freebie, a help yourself ball, one from the buffet from Max O'Dowd.
And Powdle tend to do that of half volley, juicy half volley, and Rohit Powdle took full toll of it, hitting it in front of square on the offside towards the cover boundary.
That will just settle a few fans' nerves. This time nudges it around the corner for single. Good batting, much better from Powdle, much better from Nepal. But Van der Hugten and Klassen come into the T20 I squad, and they will be 2 huge boosts. I'd expect them to play the majority of the games. Klassen in particular with the new ball, quite gangly left arm seamer, has a fantastic record. Great to see him back fit again. He missed that World Cup.
Yes, a tall, lanky left arm medium pacer, a bowler who can bat, who can hit. Huge rounders, it's big appeal, but shook up ahead by the umpire Vinay Kumar Jha. Just singling in the ball would have gone down the leg side.
So Vinay Kumar Jha says this is missing leg, height as well. It's come off the shoulder. I think it's also going over the top. For me, that's a good decision. Back live with you now. Bertel cuts away and teases the man. Out at sweeper cover. It's the second boundary. One's gone to his right. This one goes to his left. Part-time leg breaks being cashed in on by Bertel and Powdle.
Yeah, this was the same shot that he played against Max O'Dowd in the previous over of Max O'Dowd. Again, right on top of the bounce. Overpitched. 10 runs coming off this Max O'Dowd over after 16. Nepal 71 for 3.
Slip remains in place and the extra cover fielder is quite tight, almost catching there. Interesting to see O'Dowd being given the job so early. They're pretty friendly leg breaks, I have to say. They're not something that O'Dowd, by his own admission, has perfected yet. 2 overs, none for 14. You wonder, will it be a bit of Baz Deleda maybe after the drinks break instead? Really feel as though Dutt is the man who's going to have that wicket-taking threat for the Dutch.
Yeah, here's one of the premier bowlers in this series, has taken 6 for against Namibia, taking 4 left-handers. The sole left-hander Kushan Malla getting out in Dutt's ball. A plumb LBW decision given by the umpire. A bit of a miscalculation, do you think, Lenny, by sending in Kushal Malla at number 4, apart from sending the captain, the most reliable batter in the side, Rohit Powdle?
I think it's a significant one. I think a strategic misstep that Nepal need to reflect upon as to why they did it. Powdle has in essence batted almost all of his ODI career as captain at 4. I know he started out lower down at 5 and 6. He has occasionally come in at 3 too. Mala's strength is his aggression, his 6-hitting ability. Leading edge and just short. O'Dowd, he anticipated it but he couldn't get there. Well, if that had been held, it would have been Netherlands session. Instead, Bertel survives.
Yeah, Bertel tried to close his face too early, getting the leading edge. Almost carrying to the diving Max O'Dowd. A bit surprised by the bounce of that delivery, Kushal Bertel.
Again, that's what I'm saying. It's not really the sideways movement that Dutt is going to get all his wickets with, although to the left-handers he will pose that threat. To the right-handers, it's the bounce. He gets really steepling and sharp bounce because he's a tall young man. He also bowls with good trajectory, good revs, bowls it into the surface, gets good reward. Powdle need to be careful, and Bertel was lucky to survive there. That will close out the 17th over. 2 singles come from it, and I think it will get us to that first drinks break. It does. So we'll have a short break here in the commentary box. 17 have been bowled, 73 for 3.
Oh, welcome back after the first water break. 73 for 3 Nepal after 17. The current rate is not bad for Nepal. The only issue is the wicket column. 3 wickets are down. Van der Merwe, to start the proceedings after the water break, was driven down for a single by Kushal Burtel. Now these 2 wickets, the 4th wicket partnership is very crucial for Nepal. A big batting lineup yet to come. Pem Sharkey, Mohammad Arif Sheikh. Nicely bowled by Roelof van der Merwe, tossed up in the air.
Yeah, there's Freddie Klassen. Really looking forward to seeing him in the T20s. Remember, we just got the 1-day break. It's a quick turnaround, isn't it? Bertel wants the single, but Bertel sends him back, probably rightly so. Delayed a fine fielder backward point. It will be 2 matches versus each of the other 2 oppositions in a 6-game group stage of the triangular. It builds up to a final, so 7 really good T20Is in total, with all 3 of the teams here in Kathmandu at the moment, all travelling off to the T20 World Cup in June. Really good preparation. In fact, of course, the Dutch and Nepal in the same group together, Group D of that ICC Men's T20 World Cup, the largest ever 20-team event that will be co-hosted by the West Indies and USA. You'd imagine, great opportunity for plenty of players on all 3 sides to stake their claim as to why they should be on that jet plane out to the North American region to play in a World Cup.
Yeah, for the Netherlands, they finished at the top 8 in the last T20 World Cup. That is why they got an automatic qualification for this year's World Cup. I'm talking about Nepal. They won the semi-finals of the Asia qualifiers held here last year. The 2 teams, Asian teams, going to the World Cup, Oman and Nepal. In the meanwhile, 18 overs has been bowled.
Capital city of Kathmandu, a little bit closer really to Lalitpur in many ways, the twin cities that make up the main hubs of the Kathmandu Valley. And across to the east, the historic Bhaktapur. A lot of messages building into this game over the last 72 hours. Paresh, lots of fans looking for shout-outs from Bir Gunj, from Bairoa, from Biratnagar, from Pokhara, from all the way out to the far east of the country. 31 million people here, and a huge number of them very passionate cricket fans. Be nervy with the position right now. Nepal not ahead of the game by any stretch.
No, they are not ahead of the game. They've lost 3 wickets in quick succession when they were 42 for no loss. The current rate is not an issue for Nepal. It's just the wicket column. Still batting to come. This is an ideal setup for Rohit Paudel, the captain, to just play himself in. Lots of overs to go. Are we looking for the highest total of the series thus far?
There's a long way to get to that, and to do that they'll have to bat the overs. It really will. It's a good sweep shot. It'll only be a single, but it gets an ovation like a boundary. It really is fascinating and astonishing that the scale of love for cricket across the country, in Bagmati, in Madesh, all the way down to Lumbini, where there's a huge amount of cricket down near the border. But got the boss out there, don't we, Kushal Bertel? Dutt is really proving a threat here, and aren't finding a way to score off the tall off spinner.
Yeah, he's bowled pretty well in his 4th over, 1 for 6, getting rid of Kushan Mullah, the danger man, the left-hander. There's one more left-hander, an all-rounder, Gulshan Jad, to come in.
So the probing over, only the single from it. 76 for 3. They've kept Van der Merwe halfway through his overs quiet and wicketless, albeit not accumulating many runs. Good effort, saves a single, excellent work. Just trying to get a view on who it was. I think it's Engelbrecht, isn't it? He's a superb fielder. Made his international debut very late, but he famously came to prominence with a catch for South Africa at the Under-19 World Cup, described as one of the best in the history of the game. Definitely one, if not two runs saved here.
Yes, diving full to his left. Van der Merwe proving over into his 6th already. I think this is a very good captaincy by Scott Edwards, just going with his spinners, not bringing in past the later.
There's a little bit of impatience starting to build in the crowd because of the lack of runs. Last 5 overs, just 17, as the two premier spinners for the Netherlands have started to come into their rhythm. Balancing act, though, for Edwards will be how much of his primary assets, i.e. the 20 overs of these two, does he use early. He'll have used 10 from 20 at the end of this over. There is sharp turn on offer. If Nepal can even maybe just go with 2 or 3 and over off these two for the next little while, there will be run scoring opportunities in the overs to come.
Yeah, this is a very good field change by the captain and the bowler, bringing in the mid-on fielder. Now the mid-on fielder goes back just for a ball. He was inside the 30-yard circle.
Dots are building up, pressure building up. Will something give? Will something happen here? Or can Powdell and Bertel just hold their nerve and recognise there's still 30 overs to bat after this one? And only 10 of those 30 can be bowled by the two bowling currently. By far the most economical and accurate of the Dutch bowlers. They can't hold their nerve. He was tempted and he misses out. Probably fortunate he doesn't get anything on it. It's a maiden from Van der Merwe. Excellent over, 20 bowled, 7. My big question is, where do the other 16 come from? O'Dowd and Vikramjit Singh both expensive thus far. No Baz de Leede yet. How many more overs can Edwards keep going with these two before he has to introduce another option, most likely Baz de Leede?
And this is a very taut time for the batters, both the bowlers, Dutt and Van der Merwe bowling pretty well in tandem. Left arm orthodox and a right arm off spinner. A bit back to length on the leg side, nicely flicked away by Kushal Burtel for a single. They have to play these bowlers around. They don't have to take any risk, the Nepali batters, against Van der Merwe and Arjen Dutt.
I think if they keep Van der Merwe and Dutt wicketless for the remainder of their spell, it's going to be very difficult. They still have the best part of 10 between them. I think that would indicate very strongly that Nepal should bat their overs, and I think if Nepal bat their overs, they will win. So it might be a frustrating little period for the fans, the Nepal fans watching at home, and also those in the crowd. There's almost an anxiety growing, a want for two of their most favourite players, Powdell and Bertel, to get on with things. But you have to assess the conditions and the resources of the strength of the bowling of the opposition. They've left Shiraz Ahmed out today, so they don't have those 10 overs of wrist spin to call upon. And O'Dowd and Singh, as we've seen, can be scored off. Delayed at 2, he's been expensive in this series. Find a way to get through these two, just 3 down, and put the decision back on Scott Edwards, captain v captain there in shot. Put it back on Scott Edwards as to when he needs to introduce a new bowler. Right now, runs are just not coming.
And even though the runs are not coming, still 29 overs to go after this ball. They can just play these bowlers around, just take 2 or 3 singles in an over, don't take any risk. Just build up a partnership, assess the situation. 3 wickets are already down, not much runs on the board, just 77. Burtel on 38, he's well set. Because of the 3 wickets, he's gone down to shell. Again looking for a single. And Nepali batter, they shouldn't play to the occasion. Only a single of this over, 21 gone, Nepal set.
Well, Scott Edwards has a puzzle in his mind right now. He's trying to piece it together. He's just had maybe a 30-40 second discussion with Roelof van der Merwe, who took his cap off, then took it back. And ultimately, he's going to keep going, not out the decision. Edwards asks the question. Umpire Asif at the square leg. We won't be able to see from this angle, but the square on angle will probably show us that Bertel's foot never moved.
Burtel getting a bit restless. No runs picked up in the last couple of overs. Just a single.
I wouldn't be overly surprised if it's just this one from Van der Merwe and then 3 held back. This will get us a better sense as to whether Burtel kept his foot in there or not. Definitely did. Good decision again. Parosi from Pakistan's had a really good series. Got almost everything right. Can't remember one even. Marginal for him. Superb. Gets the sweep out. A lot of risk in that shot for 1 run. Just sense it. If Powell can survive these 3 balls, then Edwards is going to have to change something. Won't want to have only just 1 or 2 left to Van der Merwe. He can't surely bowl him out this early.
Podell already faced 27 balls and 49. He shouldn't give it away. Cut away. There is a sweeper cover in place. Just a single. Yeah, you can see that when Scott Edwards, Arjen Dutt and Roelof van der Merwe came in for a discussion, it was Roelof van der Merwe who took his cap off and came to bowl with his 7th.
Yeah, and at one point Edwards had indicated to the 12th men on the sidelines to take his helmet, i.e. he would be going to stand back, probably to face, as the keeper, to Baz de Leede, you would suspect. They do survive the over. There's only 2 runs from it. Don't think that's of concern just yet for Nepal. This is a very cagey game of cat and mouse we're watching. It's 79 for 3. Anything. Economies of less than 2.5. Again, there's another long conflap between Dutt, Van der Merwe and Edwards in the middle. The issue is with no Shariz Ahmed in the team today, I think they're going to have to piece together 10 overs as a 5th bowler, if you will, from Vikramjit Singh, Max O'Dowd and possibly Sybrand Engelbrecht's off breaks. And that's presuming that Kingma and Baz de Leede get through 10 overs. De Leede is yet to bowl. Talk about chess and the strategy being played out on the field. That's what we're watching right now. 2 grandmasters, Powell and Edwards. Who's going to outthink the other one?
Yeah, that is a very big question. 2 very smart chess players, to be honest. Both the captains on the screen. Oh, very neat touch by Rohit Podell outside the off stump, using the pace of Arjen Dutt.
Well, it's a little bit risky to say the least, but it's a shot that he does love. He plays it so late, and he knows that the slip has come out. It's almost out of the gloves of Edwards. It's snatched at the last second, but it's right out of the face of the bat. Powell will say he was in full control, and Dutt will say, oh, I nearly had the 4th wicket. The end result is 4 runs and a very happy fan in the crowd. This is the byproduct of having only the 1 out-and-out seamer who opened the bowling in Kingma. That meant that Van der Merwe had to open it from the other end. So therefore, you're in a position where de Leede may have to bowl, well, 10 of the last 25 overs. He's an all-rounder. He's hittable. This is really intriguing stuff. This is why I love ODI cricket. Passages of play like this.
Rohit Podell, how often he does that with those neat touches behind the stumps, paddle sweeps, ramp shots that he's played. And in very contrasting figures for Arjen Dutt. The first game played against Nepal, he was taken to cleaners by Kushal Burtel for 21 runs in his first over. And this time around, in his 6th over, giving away only 11 runs and taken a very important wicket of Kushal Malla.
I don't think Nepal are by any stretch ahead of the game. They haven't really been since they were 42 for none. But they're giving themselves a chance, firstly to bat the overs, and secondly to target some of maybe the weaker bowling options for the Netherlands later in the innings. Even the singles are getting loud cheers, and 5 runs off an over of Dutt or Van der Merwe is very pleasing. Very much game on here in Kirtipur. 84 for 3. Well, just as we predicted, Paresh, they couldn't keep going with Van der Merwe. They had to keep some overs back up the sleeve. Nepal have kept the Bulldog wicketless. He's bowled his 7 overs, 1 maiden for 16, but that's okay, because now with de Leede on, there could be a chance to pick up some runs. He's going at nearly a run a ball in the series thus far. It's very likely, unless he doesn't go well, you'd suspect he'll have to bowl 10 of the last 27 overs. These will be overs that Powell and Burtel will look to score off. It's a defensive field. That little passage of the game As the youngster gets a bit of a feed from Dad. Has that passage of the game gone Nepal's way the last 7 or 8 overs, despite the lack of runs?
Yeah, we can see that wicket was not lost in the passage of play for the last 5 or 6 overs, not giving away wickets to their premier spinner, Vandermeer. And Nepali batsmen, they shouldn't relax when Bastalaida is operating from the pavilion end. They have to concentrate well. They have to build up a partnership. Just grow this partnership till the 35th over if they can.
Yeah, they've been together for 62 deliveries now, these two, and they've only put on 30 runs. In a normal ODI, you'd think, oh, well, Nepal are getting behind the game. I think because of the makeup of this Dutch side today, because of how heavily favouring the surfaces have been towards the spinners, you can see the wear and tear out in the middle. I just think that Nepal are giving themselves a chance to get ahead of the game. I don't think they're ahead of it now, not yet, but I think they can get there if they can go well against these 10 overs of Delaida, whatever Vikramjit Singh and Max O'Dowd, or maybe Engelbrecht serve them up as the fifth bowling option, if you will. And then the return of Kingma, there could be a chance to score off him too. He's got 4 overs left. So you might be watching on at home, you might be frustrated. I wouldn't be right now if you're a Nepal fan. You're giving yourselves the chance to get a winning total. You haven't got there yet.
Yeah, that is why we always say that they shouldn't play the occasion, they should play the game.
Sure, she wanted to be on the big screen. Lots of fans do. Good length and a very good line too from Delaida. Probably a good time actually for us to ask you at home to get in touch. Let us know where you're watching on from, whether it be at the Groundies at hashtag CWCL2, or you can get in touch directly with me, Andrew Leonard, on @CricketBadge, Cricket BADGE. Send us in a tweet or an Instagram direct message. If you have any questions for Paresh when the Seamers are bowling, I've got a chance to ask them to you, Paresh. I know I've had lots of messages asking about your well-being, and you're fully fit next to me, and great to have you back with me, Paresh. So get those messages in. We'll get Well, we're approaching the halfway stage of the first innings. Netherlands won the toss. They, like all 6 toss winners throughout this start of Cricket World Cup League 2, asked their opposition to bat first. So Nepal have been sent in. Dutt is into his 7th. He's been very economical. Has the wicket of Mala next to his name as well. We hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Actionsports HD in Nepal, also available on the Dish Home Go app. Fan code down in India and around the world on ICC.tv. IMG and Cricket Club's team coming together to bring you every ball of this from Kathmandu. It's been a great start. Triangular series that will make up Cricket World Cup League 2. 144 ODIs in total. What are your thoughts so far on the 5.5 games or so that we've seen thus far? Namibia will be the happiest of the sides, no doubt.
No doubt about it. Namibia winning 3 out of 4. 2 against the home side. It did return the favour that they were beaten out of sides last year by Nepal in the home soil. And it has been a cracker of a series thus far. This is the last game. Getting the top edge, an easy catch.
I said it was coming, Paresh. I just said to you off air, I think Dutt's going to get one this over because you felt that Nepal didn't feel as though they were scoring quickly enough. For me, it wasn't the case. And of all people, Rohit Paudel, who most famously is known to not give it away, really for the 2nd consecutive innings plays a shot, well, overly ambitious to say the least. Not the length you can slog sweep from. It's the bounce that does the damage again, not the spin. And having done all the hard work, Paudel, well, he holds out to Noah Kroos, who's had an excellent series in the field. Paudel's gone for 16. It's 87 for 4.
Tapaiको असली एनर्जी Red Bull असली नेरोजों
DHI Happier Home छुट्टै छ है
Dish Home Fiber Net भरपर्दो र विश्वासिलो छ म जस्तै
Dish Home Fiber Net.
Well, it's another change in the order. Nepal haven't even got close to fielding the same batting order for the 4 matches here on home soil. They've tinkered with it constantly. And now Dipender Singh Airee, who batted down at number 8 a couple of days ago, was stumped for what was a fairly manic innings of 6 off 18. He's thrown up the order. Not the length you can slog sweep from, and that ends up being, well, a pretty ungainly dismissal as Noah Kroos holds his nerve. Another surprise change to the order. We would have suspected Bim Sharkey or Arif Sheikh at 6. Instead, it's the Tiger. He got a big roar. Why have they sent Dipender Singh Airee in up at number 6?
That's a clue for me. could have been Beam Sharky or the very reliable Iceman Arif Sheikh in at number 6, but management sent in the Bandit Singh ID. Aryan Dutt amongst the wicket takers again, 2 for him. Pulled away, but straight to short fine.
Well, perplexing is the way I would describe it in terms of the changes. It has been something they've done with success, and that's I think what Monty Desai will say. He said that all of our batters in the top 8 or 9 can really perform a multiple of roles. Number 3 through 9 has been wonderfully flexible with good results last year. It's a good diving stop, and Irie will go back. Excellent work. It's a wicket and a run in the over. Cross saves maybe 4 runs. Halfway stage, 87 for 4.
जम्प्सबाट बच्न अब पाउनुहोस् 100 ग्रामको लाइफबोय साबुन मात्र रु 45 मा 32 जडीबुटी युक्त कपाल झर्न नदिने नयाँ कपाल बार्ने श्रीकै जडीबुटी आयुर्वेदिक हेयर अयल तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजो
Wicket of Powdle belongs to the Netherlands. If it was 87 for 3, it's a different scenario. And there's more than a few nervy, anxious fans up in the crowd because they're worried about the home side being bowled out for a 3rd time in the series, batting first. They have lost 3 tosses, remember. As delay continues, those questions are flooding in on social media, and plenty of them are about the batting order. So use that hashtag CWCL2, or you can get them directly into me, either publicly or privately, on Twitter or Instagram, to Andrew Leonard at Cricket Badge, Cricket BADGE. Paresh Lahani alongside me, the former Nepal national team captain. We'll start getting into a few of those questions, Paresh. There's consecutive wides down the leg side. This one comes in from Bharat Puyal. More of a statement than a question. He says, tomorrow work begins. Oh wait, it's today. It's 12:30 a.m. in Ottawa. I'm pondering how long this game will go and how much sleep I will get. Being a Nepal fan abroad is a real challenge. Chiranji Subedi watching on from Nashville, Tennessee, watching live on ICC TV, enjoying the coverage. As an inside edge, we'll get a single and won't get any more. Mandroxus says on Twitter, Paresh, too many dot balls in these middle overs has become a nuisance for Nepal. Does that add more pressure to the batters?
To be honest, playing against good deliveries, you can afford a few dot balls. That must not create pressure amongst the batsmen. It's a very big batting lineup for Nepal. It's just about the experiment done by the team management, sending in different batters in a different position. When you have a specialist batter in the specialist position.
Nikesh Dawadi watching on from Chitwan on Actionsports HD asks, will a 200 plus score be enough? And she's just realised she's on the big screen with a few touch-ups. You can always use that phone, can't you, as the selfie mirror. What do you think, Paresh? 200 plus, would that be a winning score?
Definitely it will be a winning score if they reach 200 or 200 plus. Still halfway stage in the innings. Nepal 90 for 4. Still batters yet to come. Beam Sharky, Arif Sheikh, Gulshan Jha, the left-hander.
Sonam Chand watching on from here in Nepal asking, are Nepal messing with the batting line up to fit Anil San and Dev Kanal in? Is that why Rohit Powdle has only been seen at 4 once in the series?
No, I don't think they are just trying to get Anil Shah and Dev Kanal in, but they are looking at the best playing 11 combination for a particular game.
Ari, very watchful to start with, yet to get off the mark. Prakash Gary watching on from Salt Lake City in Utah in the United States of America. Must be quite late there. Very good evening to you. He's hoping for a good fighting score for Nepal. He wants to know, has this series really tested the resilience of Nepal's batting order?
Yes, somewhat, yes. Because Nepal have batted 3 times first in this series thus far. Outside the off stump, very good fielding effort at backward point. The only time they batted second was playing against the Netherlands, winning the toss and fielding first. They burned out Netherlands for 138. And they demolished the Netherlands bowling attack. Started from Kushal Purtel and continued by Anil Shah and Asif Sheikh.
There's no doubt batting will get easier as you approach midday, 1 o'clock. That'll be the best time of the day to bat. It's 11:20 local time right now. Marie getting himself into some trouble. 8 dot balls for him to start with. 26 bowled, 3 from that over, 90 for 4.
we have become the Bank of the Year 2023. Today, your trust has become the reason for our success. So let us be the reason behind yours. Prabhu Bank, the reason for your success.
Namaskar, Ma, Miss Nepal, Ramesh DHI, Shweta Pradhan, wishing you all a happier home.
DHI, happier home. छुट्टै छ है।
Real pressure building up on Nepal here. It's been a very good phase for the Netherlands, and well, this is a wild card again that I did not see coming. We spoke about maybe the fifth bowling option coming, 10 overs of the likes of O'Dowd and Vikramjit Singh and maybe Saibrand Engelbrecht, but for a first bowl in international cricket, the 20-year-old Michael Levitt, medium pace. Some pretty friendly stuff it looks like. Is Edwards just trying to squeeze in maybe 2 or 3 free overs here?
Yeah, Nepali batters kept quiet by the Dutch bowlers, and that is why Scott Edwards bringing his fifth bowler, who can be a fifth bowler for him, who can bowl probably 3 or 4 overs without giving away runs. Good time to bring in a new bowler for the Dutch. Quick single taken. Overthrows. The Tiger is in.
That's one thing that Irie will always do well, and particularly with someone as fit as Bertel out there with him, he'll run between the wickets very cleverly. So I think there was always going to be a single there, home very safely, and Irie, look at how swift he was to say, yeah, let's get back for 2. Clever batting. Just trying to get a look at Levitt's season in the top class. Well, he's not in the top 20 bowlers. I'm not sure he's bowled a huge amount. He was the 4th leading run scorer for the Voorburg Cricket Club, the champions of the top class, which is the Dutch, the premier Dutch domestic club competition. Surely these are the kind of overs that Nepal need to target now.
They sure need to target, but Dipendra Singh Airi yet to open his account. Kushal Bhuttel playing well on 44. Just about for Nepal that they'll have to build up another partnership for the 5th wicket, Kushal Bhuttel and Dipendra Singh Airi. Dipendra Singh Airi, talking about Airi, he's the record bowler in T20I, hitting the fastest 50 in 9 deliveries.
I did get those stats thanks to Bertus de Jong again for these, but Michael Levitt and back Rod Lyle too helps Bertus keep the top class coverage really good. Good economy rate for Voorburg in the 38 overs he bowled last year, 4.29, but just 3 wickets to his name, so really just a containing bowler. Scott Edwards will be delighted with that. 5 dot balls in the over, only 2 from it. Nepal are battling 92. It's the batting so far for Nepal. Plenty to come. Arif Sheikh recalled. I thought we'd have seen him by now, but he's going to be at number 7 and number 8. Bim Sharkey long way down there. As Deleda will continue. It feels like there's some anxiety, some frustration growing in the crowd, and also with some of the questions coming through. Kapil Shrestha on Twitter says #CWCL2. We have too many batters in the 11 and we're still struggling to cross the 200 run mark at home. Why is that?
It's all about 60% good bowling and 40% poor batting, poor selection of shots by the batting side that bats first. Good bowling by Bas Deleda. Back up to length, ball darting into the right-hander after pitching.
Question here from Ashish Banja, watching on ICC.tv from the UAE. He says, what do we feel about dropping Sam Al-Khami for Gulshan Jah? That was a surprise.
Yes, it was a bit of a surprise for us because Sompal Kami has been bowling pretty well in this series. Inside edge, just a single.
A pretty well judged single. Sagat Kadiwada watching on from Copenhagen as Ari finally gets off the mark. Just some cheers. He's watching ICC TV. He says, I'm concerned now about the lack of big hitters at the back end. Of course, Kushal Mullah is gone.
Yes, he has always been chosen as the finisher, Kushal Mullah. And this time around, can it be a strategic flaw from the team management? Oh, hit it straight. Oh, that's...
This could be out. We're going to see Vinay Kumar Jha just cross-check, and you're not going to believe it. But Dipendra Singh Airi, in maybe the most unfortunate of circumstances, he never ever regained his ground, so there wasn't a decision to be made. Deleda was taking evasive action. could call it a drop catch. But things going from bad to worse now for Nepal. What a way to be run out.
Yes, a very unlucky defending ID. Bastaleda was just taking an evasive action, getting his body away from the ball, getting the leg and hitting the stumps at the non-strikers end. Dipender Singh ID got short there, hands on his hips. A very unfortunate way to get out. Just got off the mark, playing 11 deliveries. Nepal 93 for 5 and in big trouble.
Trouble A of again not batting these overs out despite taking a much more cautious approach today. Exception of Powell, we haven't seen batters fall into aggressive shots. And a real moment of misfortune for Irie. Can't get much unluckier than this. Bastaleda couldn't quite believe it.
Yeah, taking evasive action, just trying to stop the ball with his leg. Dipender ID, he just watched the ball hit the stumps outside the crease and puts his hand on his hips and goes slowly back to the pavilion.
Deleda had no idea. Noah Cross had to tell him. I still think he doesn't know what's exactly happened. Poor old Dipender Singh Irie, awfully unlucky, you have to say. It's another great over for the Dutch.
Tim Shark is going to take the strike for the first time in this innings. Nepal 93 for 5 in deep trouble. A very unfortunate way to get out. Dipender Singh Irie.
It really was, and it's meant that because another wicket's fallen, Edwards can just sneak in, squeeze in a few more overs here of Michael Levitt. So rather than Nepal having a bit of freedom to be able to go after the likes of Deleda, Levitt, maybe Vikarpreet Singh and Max O'Dowd if they're used again, gonna have to be very cautious, and Levitt gets one to go past Sharky's outside edge. Some of the batting being a little bit naive here, Paresh.
Yes, Bhim Sharkey talking about him. He's predominantly a number 3 batter. Comes into bat at number 7. There's a pin drop silence in the crowd. Netherlands right on top. Kushal Burtil still there, fighting it out on 44 of 70, whereas Bhim Sharkey just came in. There's a sweeper cover and third man in the boundary line on the offside, whereas there's a fine leg and deep square leg. The boundary riders on the leg side.
Another thing Nepal have not done particularly well, Bertel's been there since the start. He's faced just over 11 overs of strike. And that means it's a very strong indicator that the men at the non-strikers end have not rotated strike well. Batters simply haven't got the singles to get their opener back on strike. It looks like a side that is short of confidence in its batting unit all of a sudden.
Whenever Nepal started batting first today, Kushal Burtel and Asif Sheikh had a good opening stand of 42. The net run rate was also good. It was hovering around 5 runs per over. Part-timer bowling well within the stumps. Lack of length, sometimes good length. 5 dot deliveries on a trot for Michael Levitt.
The last 5 overs, the score has been 8 for 2. Nepal, their own worst enemy at the moment, as another one is nearly run out at the non-strikers end. What luck for Nepal right now. Bertel can't quite believe it, but it's a maiden. Good stuff from Levitt. 90.
It's the 30th of the game. Nepal 93 for 5.
The Dutch deserve a lot of credit for the way in which they fielded in particular. Much better, much more like the expectations you'd see placed onto them by their head coach, Ryan Cook. They haven't exactly bowled outstandingly though, as we get another look at this one. Oh, that was so nearly another one. I think he would have been run out at the non-strikers end by that deflection there. Levitt, well, what luck he would have had if you were Nepal. The problem for Nepal has been, after 16 overs, they were 71 for 3, and after 29, 93 for 5. That's 13 overs, 2 for 21. It's been game-changing for the Dutch. It's put them well ahead of the game. Is that period of play going to end up being the deciding factor, or are the Dutch going to go on and close out a comeback victory here?
Yeah, that clearly shows the lack of rotation of the strike, playing too many dot balls, being extra cautious by the Nepali batters. It's a very good comeback by the Dutch when they were 42 for no loss, Nepal. Bowled him. A very erratic shot played by Bim Sharkey. He's out for a duck, facing 8 deliveries.
Well, the troubles continue. That 21 for 2 now becomes 22 for 3 in the last 14 overs. He was just starting to get them to shape back in, wasn't he? That's a lovely hard length from Baz Deleda. Not sure Sharky's going to want to see that shot again. The second one alongside Powdell, maybe a product of their own downfall. The Dutch are all over Nepal now. This game is drifting away from the home side. Sharky's gone for a duck. It's 94 for 6.
Deep treble 94 for 6 in the 30th over. It's going to be Arif Sheikh, the older brother of Asif Sheikh, the opener, playing his first game of the series.
Well, if they're ever going to need Sheikh's consistency and coolness and calmness, it's today, Nepal. It's been a good introduction from Baz Deleda. Just a little bit off colour, I felt, in his first couple of games with the ball for the Netherlands. Lovely hard length, no shortage of pace. That's up towards, well, certainly in excess of 130 kilometres an hour. Engelbrecht loved it at backward point. Scott Edwards, who's had that puzzle to solve, to piece together as to how and when to use his bowling options, knew that he could rely upon his star all-rounder to do the job that he needed. Arif Sheikh will get off the mark immediately. How much of the fate of this game now lies upon Kushal Bertel, who's still there?
Yes, he has to play an anchor innings now on 45 of 71 deliveries. He opened the batting, still there on the 30th over. Arif Sheikh off the mark on the second ball. Nicely clipped away off his pads. Kushal Bertel retains a strike for the next over. 30 overs gone. Nepal 96 for 6. Again, just stepping in front. Kushal Bertel looking for 2 easy 2 runs for him. Moves to 48. This is good running between the wickets. Michael Levitt, the second over was a maiden for him. This shows how much pressure the Nepali batters are on. A part-time medium pacer bowling maidens.
A very good morning and a big shout out to Tim Deleda, former Dutch international, famously took a 5-wicket haul in the Cricket World Cup back during his international career. Baz's father messaging me this morning and giving me some background on Levitt. He says the reason he hasn't bowled much in the top class this year is because of the number of high quality options that Vorburg had as the champions of that top class in 2023. Vivian Kingma, Niru to Ryan Klein, Jerry's Ahmed, Philippe Boissevin. They often bowled opposition out in 35 overs. So there wasn't much room for Levitt to bowl. Only bowled 38 overs last year, but he could definitely become a decent batting all-rounder, says Tim Deleda. So very good morning to you, my friend. Great to hear from you. No doubt you're watching on very proudly as Baz has bowled very nicely.
Yes, he has, bowling around 130, 135 Ks. The delivery that he got rid of Bim Sharkey was a quick one, getting the top of up middle stump.
That's going to be the 100 up, so you're going to hear cheers around this ground. Slightly nervous cheers, they're anxious cheers, because they know you would think that Nepal are going to need to double this total to have a realistic chance of defending it.
Yeah, they need at least 200 on board to get a game out of it. He's 100 for 6 in the 31st over, 19.2 overs remaining. Can they get to 200? That is the big question.
The crowd are just trying to start to make some noise because Bertel is on 49. Dutch look much happier, the 2 units right now. They've got 12 men walking around the outside with joking and laughing. They look very positive with their body language. They know they're in full control of this game right now. It will be 50 for Kushal Bertel. Big cheer, and in fact most of the ground are going to stand to their opener. And from Butwell gets to his 8th ODI 50 to go alongside the 100 he's made. It's come at a more sedate rate than usual with 5 fours of 77 deliveries, but it's been a critical knock. It's 101 for 6.
Bertel guiding that ball down to third man. Smart move by Bertel, getting off strike.
Just go back to that point, Paresh, once more about the lack of strike that Bertel has had. He's faced 78 deliveries, which is exactly 13 overs of 31.1. That illustrates just how poorly his colleagues have assisted him in terms of getting him onto strike. He's the set man.
Very nicely bowled again by Leagur. Yeah, talking about strike rotation, that has been the case for the Nepali batters apart from Kushal Patel. And these are the wickets to fall. Asif Sheikh is off dismissal yet again. Anil Shah, no feet movement whatsoever after hitting that six to Kingber. This was right in front. Kushal Malla. And again, Aryan Datta.
That was Powell's dismissal. Back live now. Sheikh keeps it out. 2 more wickets to look at after that Powell one. Get a look at those now. This was the Powell shot, completely the wrong length to slog sweep, and Noah Cruz holds on to the catch. And then, well, there's not a lot you can say about this, just complete misfortune. Look at Leagur, he had absolutely no idea that he had ran out. Defender Singari, and then a beauty to Bim Sharkey. Such an asset for Dutch cricket, isn't he? Today, as Dave pulls off a good stop. Not many you could bat at number 3 or number 4 and provide you 10 overs plus, 10 overs of 130 kilometres an hour plus medium fast pace.
No wonder that is why he got the Associate Player of the Award, ICC Player of the Award last year. A very good all-rounder in the Associate Nations.
And he's just been incredibly effective here. 4 consecutive dots. Again, look at Bertel, he's left looking at his bat at the non-striker's end, having got a single from the first ball.
This has been the case from the start for Kushal Patel, apart from Asif Sheikh rotating the strike nicely, the opening stand of 42. After that, Kushal Patel well left stranded at the non-striker's end. Again getting that inside part of the bat, only a single of the first ball of this over. 32 gone, Nepal 1. Regular intervals. Good style diving effort by Michael Levitt of his own bowling.
Well, Levitt, his first bowling international game. Now Edwards, the keeper, up to the stumps for the last couple of overs. Van der Merwe warming up there. They still have 3 overs left of their premier spinner, Van der Merwe. And Aryan Dutt too. That's a nice stroke. Not out of the middle, but should get enough to kiss into the rope. And it's a calculated piece of aggression from Bertel. Holds his shape and he gets 4.
That was intelligent shot by Kushal Patel. The fielder was inside the 30-yard circle. That mid-off fielder played on top of his head. The ball rolling towards the long-off boundary for 4. Played it on the up. Got middle of the bat. Very good timing as well. Just help it over the bowler's head.
Sheikh has a job to do here. Get a single. 5 runs from 3 balls. Good start to the over. Arif Sheikh get a single. Bertel finds another boundary. Then there's 10 off it. Then there's pressure back on the Dutch to work out their bowling plans, to work out who's going to deliver these sort of make-up overs that they have to get together between Levitt, Singh and O'Dowd. Got their 6 overs up their sleeve of their 2 primary spinners. Got to get pressure back onto the Dutch somehow here, despite being 6 down.
Yes, that was a very excellent execution by Kushal Patel, playing the ball over the mid-on fielder's head. Now talking about Arif Sheikh, he's faced 9 deliveries for a single. He has to rotate the strike. Still plenty of overs to go.
This has been the problem. Everyone, probably with the exception of Asif Sheikh, who looked comfortable up the top. He made 17. In row at Powell, 16, came off 40 deliveries. There's been so many dots at the other end. Bertel has 97 runs in the series and a good strike rate. Just hasn't been able to get the strike. Certainly not as much strike as Mbal would like. That's a single now, but it means that Arif Sheikh will keep the strike 6 coming from Levitt's 4th. The score is 100. I'll roll off Van der Merwe. We've just seen warming up. Cover there's some of the Dutch substitutes. Wesley Bracey, just the 1 appearance for him in this series. Leagur going to continue, and Arif Sheikh is a bit of a hack. And Leagur has a word. He says, "Play that again, you'll get out," like Bim Sharkey did.
I think the idea was right by Arif Sheikh, coming towards 3 steps in front of the crease, trying to dismantle the bowler's line and length. And Leagur said something to Arif Sheikh, just ensuring that you stay back at the crease, or else you'll be bowled out like Bim Sharkey did.
Singles the order of the day right now for Sheikh. Good in-swinging Yorker. There's just a hint of tail back in, isn't there, to the right-hander? That's what counted for Bim Sharkey. Dots continuing to stack up.
Yes, coming down the track, and he had a word to Arif Sheikh. Bastaleda, a very good cricketer, all-rounder, one of the 4 cricketer to take 5 wickets and scoring a century in an innings in ODIs. Big names in that, Vivian Richards and Paul Collingwood.
Yeah, what a performance that was. What a clutch performance too, with everything on the line. There's Van der Merwe warming up. I think we might see him replace Levitt. That'll be 3 important overs. Sheikh was generally pretty good in the last Cricket World Cup League 2, average of 27. Made 5 50s, including most famously here against the UAE, in the very final ODI of the series. Just been too many dots for me to start his innings, 3 off 15. Career strike rate around 64. He's not someone who'll take you apart. He has to read the game and the situation that his side need him to get singles and help to rotate that strike and get Bertel as much of the strike as possible.
Kushal Purtel on strike. Look at his runs, 102 with a good healthy strike rate. Coming to the front foot. And there is a fielder inside the 30-yard circle at mid-off.
I think there might be just one more delivery before drinks. 1 ball left in the over. Bertel wants the single to get the strike, and he'll get it. He takes on Nidamanoru to get home. So just 2 runs from Deleda's 6. What a spell that is from him thus far. 6 overs consecutively, 1 for 12. He's helped shift the momentum very heavily towards the Netherlands at the second drinks break. Nepal are in real trouble, and with 16 overs left to bat, they're 110 for 6.
On 3 of 15, whereas Kushal Purtel, 57 of 83. Purtel has been there from the beginning. It's going to be Roelof van der Merwe from the Chobar end to start the proceedings for the final session of the innings.
Well, here we go. Nepal, it's all on the line these last 16 overs. You're going to have to bat them out and find a way, well, surely to get to 200 minimum. Maybe 190 could be a game as well, but with 6 overs of Van der Merwe and Dutt left, it's not going to be easy. Bertel may have to check his aggression for these 6 overs of spin. It's his favourite shot, the sweep, gets it in front to square, gets 4. Well, it could be Bertel or bust for Nepal. He is carrying the nation on his shoulders right now, the man from Butwell.
Yes, Kushal Purtel, this was swept very nicely on top of the bounce. Just rolled his wrist to make sure that the ball went all along the ground into the vacant area at mid-wicket. A very good strike by Purtel.
Now cuts, but straight to the man. Delayed at backward point. The critical thing about that sweep shot, A, he gets well on top of the bounce, but B, got it a long way in front to square. And that's meant that there's 2 men out there protecting now. Beats the outside edge. Nervy moments again for Nepal. If they lose Bertel, well, that could be the game, you would suspect.
Very disappointed Purtel with himself, not getting that ball. Forward defensive, very well bowled by Van der Merwe. In this spell, he's not giving that air what he did in the first spell. He's bowling a bit flatter through the air.
Tossed up this time. I suspect Bertel will want the single now if he can get it. The crowd is really building up very healthily. Grass banks close to capacity already. Not even midday local time yet on a workday Sunday. Bertel can't get the single that he wants, so it's 4 runs from the over. 35 bowled, 15 remain. 1-1. Chance he bowls 10 on the bounce here.
He is bowling pretty well. He might bowl 10 on the bounce into his 7th over. Has already taken a wicket off Pim Sharkey. A very quick delivery to get rid of Sharkey, hitting the top of middle stump.
Very good delay, I have to say. Lovely to hear all the messages coming in, and plenty of rather panicked Nepal fans. Right now, you have to love the passion, but surely, as Paris Katka said a couple of days ago to me when he joined me for a little guest stint in the commentary box, he just wants people to stick with the team, stick with Monty Desai, stick with Rohit Powdell. Lovely stroke and stick with Kushal Bertel, because that's very nicely played. Again, it's calculated risk, calculated aggression. I think it's the first boundary off Deleda in his 7th over. Bertel over one of his favourite zones gets 4.
Another excellent strike played on the up again. Identifying the fielder was inside the 30-yard circle. The mid-off fielder went over his head. A couple of bounces over the fence. Like you said, Lenny, very calculated. Again, flicked it away onto his pads.
Well, I'm trying to find some questions that are publishable. A few of the fans very, very anxious, let's put it that way right now. Nice one from Naruto here, was on the way from Melbourne to Sydney in the car for work purposes. As soon as the game started, I pulled into the services to watch the game. He says, Jai Nepal, Jai Taklu Dai, hashtag CWCL2. Very kind. Thank you so much for the kind comments coming in. You can use that hashtag CWCL2. Another question here. Agda asking, Paresh, what's your opinion on Nepal? Should the top 5 not at least stay the same?
Yeah, there are specialist batters in the specialist position, like the openers. We have the same openers throughout the years. And number 3 batter can be a specialist one. Well, we can see Anil Shah coming in, doing that job.
Good Yorker, well kept out by Arif Sheikh. Another good over from Deleda. I just wonder, is he at the limit of his endurance now? He bowled 7 consecutive.
Lay down, he'll try to play his shots, play the sweep shots. It's all about Arif Sheikh rotating the strike. Flighted delivery, misfield, at short extra cover, resulting single.
It's the first real error of note in 36 overs from the Dutch. It's Engelbrecht of all people, he's an excellent fielder. Might have just got a little bubble on the edge of the square there. Van der Merwe furious. Really furious. He knows how important every run could be. Chip back to him, and the misfield has brought about the big wicket, and Van der Merwe roars with delight. Bertel was just looking to get one to long on, but it's come off the bottom right to the bats, and it's chipped back to Van der Merwe. Bertel gone. Is that the game towards the Dutch?
It can surely be a very soft dismissal. Kushal Bertel tried to play that for a single, but the ball stopped on him, getting the toe of the bat. Easy catch to Van der Merwe. A very, very soft dismissal, and very disappointed. Kushal Bertel has to depart. A very well compiled runs for Kushal Bertel, 66, including 8 boundaries. Nepal won.
The Dutch. It's something Nepal will have to get used to. They're no longer the unknown force at this level. The new players who came in that last cycle, the likes of Gulshan Jah, who's now come to the crease, Malat Rajbanshi, who really has come into his own, Kushal Bertel, Asif Sheikh, they're all known about now. They have plans for every one of them. Jah, who had a lack of runs at the Under-19 World Cup last month in South Africa, is going to need to be at his best. It's a slight irony that misfield from Engelbrecht brought Bertel back onto strike, and it brought about, well, the critical wicket. The only batter who's looked comfortable out there thus far. Now there's a sharp turn on offer. Nepal, well, for me, we're going to have to do something special not to be bowled out here again for the 3rd time in the series.
Yeah, the misfield came out a very good one for the Netherlands. Bertel coming back on strike after the misfield and getting out. A wicket taking over comes to an end. 37 gone.
Still have one to come, I think. The umpire's just going to check that. There was a little bit of a word from the 2 senior men, Edwards and Van der Merwe, to Jah for attempting, or considering, he didn't attempt the single, considering the single, given it deflected off his bat. And Vivian Kingma did brilliantly well, actually, getting from short fine all the way. So the elder statesman trying to off-put the youngster. A little bit of gamesmanship. There's lots on the line here in Kathmandu. 37 ball, 1-2-2 for 7. Kingma will come back for his 2nd spell, a change of ends. We thought it would be the end of Deleda. Did you not suspect it would now be Aryan Dutt?
Yes, we thought that Aryan Dutt will get his 2nd spell from the pavilion end, but it's Kingma. Starts off with his 2nd spell right on the money. Kingma is taking 2 wickets. The first 2 wickets taken by Vivian Kingma.
There's just so much pressure and tension and nervousness and anxiety around this ground right now. There's 10,000 or so in the venue, maybe a couple of thousand outside the main entrance, and every one of them is nervous because Nepal have nowhere near like enough runs right now. Another good diving stop, but plenty of time to get the single. It's Cruz this time, it does the fielding. Jah has been known to play counter-attacking innings. Would you like to see him be aggressive, or what style will he bat in here?
Well, to be honest, he will have to play an attacking innings, a counterpart because Arif Sheikh, he's played 21 deliveries for 6. Gulshan Jha, he has played a couple of good innings for Nepal in the last cycle of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2.
Driven and maybe just a flick of backward points fielders. Kingma didn't want the single, but Jha gets off the mark. Every run could be important. Remember, Nepal very nearly defended 168 against Namibia. Namibia got home with 2 wickets to spare. 150 plus will give them hope. 200 plus if they can somehow get there. It's a long way away. That could be a winning score. It can't be bowled out, that's the key.
Yeah, it's all about playing the remaining of the overs. Talking about Gulshan Jha, he hadn't had a good outing with the bat in the Under-19 World Cup. Again, firmly driven into the vacant area, but no run.
So Nepal victory and Netherlands moye moye. I think that means hard luck, does it? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Nice little bit of art there. And the Nepal flag was slightly better drawn than the Netherlands one, I have to say. Steered into the gap. No, not quite. Engelbrecht's been everywhere, isn't he? Fine fielder. Doesn't look like any chase is going to be easy, but Nepal have been architects of their own downfall to a certain extent with the bat here.
Yes, it all started in the beginning with Asif Sheikh and Anil Shah. And then the selection of shot by Roj Bodel, Bim Sharkey. It was a very unfortunate dismissal for Dipen Singh Airi.
Yeah, Powdell's dismissal was the one that kind of sparked that second collapse. Those last 4 wickets have fallen for 35 runs. Once the single, and if that was collected cleanly, Engelbrecht would have had a chance at the run-out, and there's now an argument between Sheikh and Jha. It is a 3rd single of the over, and it's the end of the 38th, 1-2-5 for 7.
जम्प्सबाट बच्न अब पाउनुहोस् 100 ग्रामको लाइफबोय साबुन मात्र रु 45 मा
DHI happier home today sa hai.
डबल मच
Lost 7 wickets in 34 overs of cricket. And that is going to be the end of that. You sensed it was coming. You sensed Aryan Dutt had his name on another left-hander. It's another good catch.
Yes, we saw this coming. Aryan Dutt into his last over. Quicker through the air. Gulshan Jha trying to go over the short fielder's head, but straight to Engelbrecht. Giving away a flight, getting the edge, and smart catch taken by Saibrand Engelbrecht. 8th wicket down for Nepal in dire straits. It's 1.
Garen KC in down at number 10 has that great record here, known for hitting big sixes at this venue, but that's not really the task for the moment. First task, see off these 4 balls of Aryan Dutt, who's bowling, well, one of the spells of the week. In some ways, this has been almost as impactful as his 6-wicket haul against Namibia.
Yes, amongst the 6-wicket haul, 4 were left-handers now again today. 3 wickets, 2 left-handers. He has a knack of picking the left-handers.
Doesn't he just? And again, it's been the accuracy, the bounce hasn't actually really been the turn that's caused many problems. And that last dismissal of Jha, was as much a byproduct of the scoreboard pressure, the lack of runs coming, and Jha wanting to get moving as anything else.
Lovely.
Dutt just hasn't blinked through the spell.
Oh, good boy. Beautiful.
Look at those figures.
Don't get 40 here, Sonny boy.
3 for 16. Game-changing stuff from the 20-year-old off-spinner. What a spell.
Yes, it has been a brilliant bowling spell by Aryan Dutt. 9.4 overs, 3 for 16.
Nice boy.
With just 1 ball left now, you suspect KC is going to be as well placed as anything just to block this one out. At least see off Dutt. There'll be an over of Van der Merwe to worry about for the 2 right-handers. Maybe get through that and somehow try to find 20, 30, 40 runs off the remaining 6 overs of pace on the ball, or at least medium pace on the ball.
second best figures of Arjen Dutt's career. After that 6-wicket haul earlier in the week, he bowls 10 overs, 2 maiden